Welcome to the Kai Yoga Space. I'm Kai, and today I'd like to share with you what you need to set up your yoga space. First thing you need is a flat piece of ground. That is number one. You want to try and find a place where there's not going to be an incline, a place that is not uneven, like not all humpy and bumpy, a flat space. That is probably the most important. Outside is okay. If it could be a shaded space outside, because practicing yoga, maybe like in direct sun, could become quite horrible and distracting, and you could land up with heat stroke. But anyway, a flat surface is number one. Everything else is a nice to have, and that's what makes yoga so great. As long as you have like maybe a 3x3 meter flat surface, you can do yoga. If you are neurospicy and PTSD, CPTSD, I would rather suggest an inside space, just because we know how our senses can get overwhelmed. So outside is nice and it's pretty and it can be tranquil, but I would start off inside, and then once you develop a bit of a practice and you get more comfortable, maybe move outside, and then a yoga mat. So depending on what budget you have, you can get really super cheap yoga mats, and if that's all that you can afford, 100% get that for you. If you do have a budget for a little bit more, these natural rubber yoga mats, there's a lot of brands that are eco-friendly, and these rubber mats last quite a long time. I got this one secondhand. I bought it from the yoga studio I studied with, and I've had it since 2020, and it's only now starting to fray a little bit, and the studio had it for about 6 years and I had it for 5. So that's 11 years. And then yoga blocks are really great to have, especially if you are a little bit limited in your flexibility and your mobility, or even if you're super great at your flexibility and your mobility, blocks are amazing. A little thing about props also teach you to accept support. You know what I'm talking about. Some of us independent people really struggle to accept support, even when it is offered to us with love. So if you automatically were like, I don't need blocks, then I'm talking to you. This is standard. They can come thicker, but this is kind of the general thickness. If blocks are not in your availability, something that a lot of us have is tinned foods. And this is like your standard size of tin food. The bigger the tin, the better, like if it can be similar size to the blocks, but these, as they are, work perfectly fine. Another prop that is really helpful is a strap. So a strap, if you are from the 90s and you have one of these belts with these little metal-y thingies, you can even use that belt. Go dig it out of your 90s wardrobe. But yeah, a yoga strap is really helpful. It also helps with mobility. It helps with developing flexibility. It just brings a new element to your yoga practice. It can also help you hold the posture for longer. It can also be a supportive structure that you can lean into when doing poses. And it can really make the practice nice. If you don't have, or if you can't get your hands on a strap, if you have a scarf, scarves work just as well. Honestly, scarves work just as well. And then a blanket always serves really well. If you find yourself to be a person that has a more posterior tilted pelvis, so when you sit on the floor, you find yourself like that, or it's quite uncomfortable, a folded up blanket just under the bum, roll the sit bones off, and it just gives a little bit more of an anterior tilt to your pelvis, making your seat so much more comfortable. For Shavasana at the end of our practices, also very great for our more restorative practices. It's just really lovely to have in your yoga space. And then a cushion. They're often around this size and that thickness, and it just allows you to sit down for longer periods of time, so it makes your meditation seat a lot more comfortable. If you can't get your hands on a meditation cushion, any cushion helps. Even maybe the pillow that you sleep on, you could just fold it in two. And then this guy over here is what we call a bolster. And a bolster is a cuddle buddy. Okay, so bolsters are mostly used in restorative yoga and yin yoga, so the very calming yoga practices, and it is used to support us. So, you want to lie like this, or like this. This is a very nice to have. They are quite pricey, so maybe allow this to be a reward that you offer yourself. If you have been dedicated to your yoga practice for a significant amount of time, then maybe this can be something that you reward yourself with and you purchase. But for the first little while, I don't think you're going to need this too much, but it is a nice to have, a bolster. And then a journal, a yoga journal. Why a yoga journal? Because when you are in your yoga practice, especially if you're going to be practicing alone or even in a class, a processing will happen. Or sometimes these beautiful bombs of wisdom will come down from that lovely interconnected consciousness space, or maybe you'll figure something out, or you want to journal afterwards, like you've moved around in the body and you've released some stuff. And yeah, it's always nice to have one just to write stuff down. Yeah. And also a space where you can maybe not be disturbed for the duration of your practice. And this is especially for us, for the neurospicy and complex PTSD or PTSD community. Being in a yoga practice and then having constant external distractions can really dysregulate your nervous system. When you are in your practice, you want to be undisturbed. You want to be able to drop in and anchor down and be present here. So a flat surface, and if it's possible that it can be a place where you can not be disturbed. Maybe you live with people that would normally bother you quite a bit. Maybe just before your yoga practice, just communicating, being like, hey guys, I'm going to go do my yoga practice now. Please don't disturb me. I will come back when I'm done. That's what you need. If you have made it this far, thank you for watching. Please like, comment, share for people that might need it. Subscribe. And thank you for watching, and I shall see you soon.